Hi everyone,
Welcome to our channel, and
and
we're
we're
the
the
Traveling
Traveling
Duo.
Duo. And today we're talking about the Carnival Valor. When in 2019, my graduation present was to go on a cruise. My aunt, my mom, and my cousin, we all four went on the Carnival Valor.
And we got this little bitty room, in an interior room to be exact. And it was tight, but we did it, and we had a blast. Our first stop was Cozumel. Well, let's back it up a little bit. We went out of New Orleans, and I'll tell you a little bit about New Orleans. We get into New Orleans, we get to the hotel, we go and eat. When we get back, there's a lizard in our room. Not only is there a lizard, but we had the air conditioner running, and it was growing mold on the carpet. So they had to put us in another room, and
That was the start.
that was just the start. You want to do the next one, the next part?
Yeah. So we get on the cruise ship. They moved us to a different room. And so we board the Carnival Valor. We get there, everything's fine that first day. We get settled in, do what we want to do. But that first night,
At dinner.
I will not forget this, and I will not let my family members live it down.
She won't.
And here's the reason. We were on the ship, and that night we went to the main dining room to eat dinner. And it's normally in the back of the ship. I think it's rare that it's ever in the front. And we had gone, and Lord mercy, it was dark outside, and I seen the lights going by. So the cruise ship is going this way, but the lights are going this way. I think I'm correct about that. I could be wrong. So I was like, told the family, I said, how do I know if we're going forwards or backwards or what? I didn't know. And everyone was like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, it'll be fine. We're not going back. Like, we promise. And I'm like, well, kind of looks like we are. Because I could see lights and we were going out of the Mississippi. And that night, we get back into our rooms. Come to find out, someone from Alabama, a police officer, had gotten drunk. Drunk all of his 15 drinks. I think he was drinking some of his wife's drinks, if I'm mistaken. And then he falls off the 14th deck. I think it was down to the 9th deck?
10th deck.
10th deck.
10th deck.
And so
we had to go back.
They had airlifted him off, but before they did, we got to be going back. And everyone at the dining was like, oh, we're not going back. It's fine.
All right. So that happens, and we're about out of the Mississippi River. We're about into the international waters, and we have to stop again because somebody has a heart attack, and they have to airlift them off.
So there was 2 airlifts off?
Well, one of them we went back for. I don't remember. We went partially back. I think it was the heart attack we went back for, and the guy was airlifted.
Yeah,
that's how it happened.
In the middle of the night, someone coming over the intercom saying, "Man overboard, man overboard."
I don't remember
being
that
a first cruise ship experience for me and Mom, my cousin was on a cruise before.
Yeah, he's been on one
at
that time.
We weren't. So this was our first cruise, and this is all happening, and we're sitting there like, obviously we're laying down in bed because we didn't know what else to do.
I was asleep. I didn't even hear the intercom.
And I hear over the intercom, "Man overboard, man overboard," and I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? What's happening?
Well, that's okay, and we're picking up speed because we've got to get to Cozumel. So we get to Cozumel about an hour later than what we were supposed to, which was fine, and we got to stay an hour later. Well, me and Haley was up on the Lido, and we had went to the what was it?
Oh no, hang on! You gotta tell them about your panic attack that you had. Because that happened
No.
before.
Oh, yeah. So we
Yeah.
go to Mr. Sancho's, and if you go to Cozumel, I suggest you to go to Mr. Sancho's. It's a really good place. They're really nice. There's a beach. There's a pool.
The beach is, when we went the first time, it was nice, but it's not like sand. It's rocks, I think. I haven't been back in like 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
And when I was there in 2019, and I think in 2024, it was rocks too, but I could be wrong about that.
Well, so we're out there and we get back, we get a taxi and we go back to the port, and my nephew decides he wants to go get some chips. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And then the next thing I know, I'm sweating, I'm burning up, I can't hardly breathe, I'm having a panic attack. And so I sit there, there's a fountain there, and I sit down there, and some of our towels were wet, and they put it on the back of my neck.
It was mine.
Yeah, and wrapped it around my neck, and that helped a little bit. And then we're walking down the pier to get onto the back onto the ship, and Haley and my sister and my nephew were just sitting out there, just watching the water, standing right beside the ship. And I said, "Come on, let's go get back on the ship."
And come to realize, she's like rushing through the port to get to the ship. And then we were at like the furthest one for Carnival. And so we walked down the pier, and you didn't have, I'll let you continue, but we walked down the pier and we were standing right here at the first entrance. And she was like rushing. Like, I have not seen her run, and she was about to start running.
I was. Well, I had watched, before we had went, I had pulled up some YouTubes like we're doing now of some travel and cruise ships, and but they always said that if you do not have a passport, you will not get back. If the ship will leave you, because we didn't take an excursion with the ship. And that's why I was freaking out. I wanted to get back on the ship because I couldn't afford to pay no airplane ticket. And on top of that, I'm scared of heights. So, yeah. But we get there and we're all standing beside the ship. I mean, we're right there at the ship. And you've got a door here, a walkway here to go in, and one down here on the other side. And that's the one we come out of. So I didn't realize you could go in that one. So I'm like, come on, let's go, let's get on. And she's like, I'll be in a minute. And I was like, well, and
remind you, I'm standing with my aunt and my cousin who were like, if we miss the ship, we'll just get a plane. So it wasn't that big of a deal to me, but we also had an hour before the ship left.
Yeah, we did.
And we were right there. My cousin was getting some videos downloaded so he could watch them.
Yeah. But anyway, I just took off because I was freaking out. I wasn't going to get
this one over here.
Yeah, I went to this one and not this entrance. And I fast walked all the way down to this side of the ship, the end of the ship, just to get on and go up to our room. But, yeah, there's that.
That part was hilarious. And she was, like, almost running, guys.
Yeah, I was. And I don't run. I do not run, as you can tell. I don't run.
And you'll find out in a couple of our cruises how, like, this whole experience has changed kind of how we cruise.
Well, the first time let me go back a little bit. When we got into New Orleans the day before, we went over the bridge and you could see where the ship was. And it wasn't in port at that time, I don't think, was it?
No, I think it was.
And I started crying.
If it wasn't the Valor, it was like another ship, or it was like, I think they had like little tiny like ships. No, you could see the ship.
Yeah, you could see the ship from the bridge. and that we were going over.
But sorry to interrupt you, but I think that was not when we went by. I could be wrong, but we seen that turtle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think that was the day that we got on the ship.
Yes, okay. It was the day we got on. Sorry, the day we got on.
But I think you did cry the day.
No, I did.
That we went into New Orleans.
Yeah, because we were so close. But it's like me and my sister said, we never dreamed that we could even do a cruise ever. And because at the time I was a single mom with 3 kids, 2 boys and her. And yeah, I was kind of something new, and I squalled. I'm very an emotional person. And when you see, you will see why. But anyway, but we get on the ship and all is going good. We get up to Lido and we're in the buffet. I guess it's the buffet. I can't remember.
No, well, it's the market.
Market and
Lido Market.
Lido Market. So we're over there. We're sitting there just getting a salad or something like that. And all of a sudden, I look out the window and I see red lights. And I'm like, oh no, not again. And it was coming down the pier. And sure enough, we found out later on that night, that it did come to us. It wasn't going to the other ship.
No, we watched it come to us.
Yeah, okay. We watched it come to us. It didn't go to the other. Can't remember if it was can't remember what ship it was, but it was another Carnival ship that was in port with us.
It was the Glory.
It might have been. And we thought it was going to them, but no, it came to us. Somebody fell in Cozumel and had to have emergency surgery on their ankle. So there's 2 things right there that happened to us.
3.
Yeah, 3. Sorry. 3. 3 things that happened to us all in, what, 2 or 3 days?
Yeah. And then the ship is fine. Like, we're kind of speeding to get back to New Orleans because I think something happened. And, like, the ship, everyone on the intercom was like, this is not normal. Like, we could feel the ship rocking. And I'm not one to get seasick, but since I've been on a shot, I do. And I was not, like, seasick on this ship at all. And then we get back into New Orleans, and we go to Cafe Du Monde.
Yep.
And found out that it was the Hard Rock Cafe.
Yep.
That had fallen.
It had collapsed as we were coming out of the Garden District, I think. We went.
I think it was we had just left Cafe Du Monde.
Well, we were coming out of the Cafe Du Monde. We went to the Cafe Du Monde and had our beignets. And then we went to the Garden District because I remember walking it. And because I remember coming out and I was like, okay, let's speed up a little bit because there was 2 other people. They were homeless. They were sitting over there and they were cussing each other out. And I was like, oh crap, there is going to be a fight. So I was like, let's speed up a little bit. And that's when we got in the car, and that's when
we had found out that the Hard Rock Cafe had collapsed. However, I mean, for that to be our first ship, and for us to go through all of that and still want to cruise,
it's worth it.
It's really worth it. I'm always at work and I'm telling them, I'm like, I'm going on a cruise, and they're like, how can you afford that? And I'm like, well, it's actually cheaper than you think.
Yeah.
We're in Tennessee, so like going to Gatlinburg, we would spend the same amount in one weekend.
Or more.
Just to go to Gatlinburg when we can go out of the state, visit another state,
out of a country,
going out of the country and visiting other countries and trying their food and just experience the culture.
Yeah.
Why waste $1,000 or more, depending what kind of room y'all get, but $1,000 or more on Gatlinburg when you can go on a ship and go explore new countries?
And the thing about it is we could go to Gatlinburg, and because we live not too far from it, And we can go there anytime we want to. We could leave tomorrow and be there within a couple of hours. And we experience the same thing that we could get at home, pretty much. So, doing a cruise, you get to experience it not just yourself, but with someone else, like with me and her. This is my daughter, of course, and we get to experience new things together. And it's not like I've already done it and she hasn't. We both haven't done it. So I love it because of that.
Okay, so let's rate that first ship.
Okay.
Because we have been on
5, 6.
I think this is our 8th cruise.
Let's see.
7th or 8th, don't name them, but
I won't.
I really don't know. It's like 7 or 8 ships that we've been on, and then this one in November will be either 8 or 9, maybe 7.
Yeah. Somewhere around in there.
Okay, so the Valor. Let's rate it. What would you rate the Valor on places that we went to?
I'd give it a 8 out of 10.
I'd give it a 6. Just because I liked Cozumel. I did not really like Progresso. I don't even think
you know what? We didn't get off on Progresso.
I did. You did.
I didn't.
No,
So,
I didn't.
No.
Because
it was
me, you, and Rhonda stayed on the ship. So yeah, I give it a 6 because I didn't go into it, and I only went to Cozumel.
I don't even remember what I gave it.
You gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8 because I really liked Mr. Santos, and it was worth it. Even though I had my first ever panic attack, it was a beautiful place to be. So yeah, I gave it an 8.
Okay, let's rate it on how good was the ship? Like, how well did we like the ship? Out of 1 out of 10. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest.
So the Carnival Valor at that time,
because we didn't go and do our own thing at this point. We were like all sticking together.
We were sticking together. So I would give it a 5.
A 5?
I think so, because it was an older ship.
Well, at that time, it wasn't that old.
It wasn't? I think
we
it was.
went in 2019, and it was made in
that's right.
2001, I think. Or
I think it was
my birth year.
I think it was the interior of the ship.
The interior was
it was kind of dark.
I mean, it wasn't that dark.
It was like golds and...
Well, it was presidential things.
Yeah, I know. And not saying I didn't like that, but it was a bit much, I think. In my own opinion, it was a bit much of the whole thing, where they had the president's heads and stuff.